I got a video request from Rebellious Kelly's to do an accessories, bows and hair clips video. So I thought I'd start out by showing you some of the clips, like this little bow right here that I have and like to use, and then show you a quick tutorial on how to make these yourself. So obviously I like putting cute stuff in my hair, so I thought I would show you a way to do that today. I'm actually going to show you how to make something for your hair and something you can put on your clothes as well. These are store-bought little hair clips. These are, I don't know if you can see this, but there's nothing on here. You just buy them and then you put whatever you want on here. These are the tiniest size they had, so I'm going to be making some tiny stuff today, but you can obviously get any size you like. And these are brooch pins. They work in the same way. The difference is, if you look at the top of them, the brooch pin has 3 holes and the hair clip has 2. So I'm not going to be sewing the bows on today, but obviously you can do that through the holes if you like to. You can also glue them on, but I'm going to show you a different way to do it today. So for this, you'll need a fabric. This is the store where I get my stuff. It's here in Stockholm. And today I'm using this black and white non-stretchy fabric. You can use any fabric you like for this, but a thicker one is better than a thin one because we want our bows to be sort of puffy and big. Well, I do at least. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out 2 loops from this fabric. One smaller loop and one bigger loop. Now, measurements for this, I'm not going to measure exactly. I'm just going to cut kind of the size I want. And for the big loop, I'm going to cut a piece that's approximately 4 times larger than I want my finished bow to be. So the fabric is folded in half. I'm going to cut 2 identical pieces. So I want my bow to be maybe this big when it's done. So I'm cutting a piece that's about this big just to make sure I have, a little left over in case. Okay, so I now have 2 pieces. Next up, we're going to do the smaller piece. Now, if you can imagine, this is going to be the main body piece of the bow. It's going to be scrunched up like this. The tiny one is the one that's going to hold it. It's going to go all the way around. So, how thick do I want that one to be? And what we have to think about here is the way I'm going to put this on this little clipping here is I'm going to pull it over it. I'm going to show you this later. Pull it over it and then have it closed. So I'm going to be able to remove this from the clip if I want. So let's see. I want my loop to be pretty thin. This is way too much fabric. I'm just cutting it to not make the fabric cut real ugly. So the first thing I want to do is sew my 2 big pieces together, and I'm going to sew them on by putting the outsides out. And I'm going to sew all of the edges except one of the short ones so that I can flip it inside out. So I'll start sewing here and go all the way around and stop up here. It's time to turn it inside out. Now it looks like this. So the next thing I want to do now is fold it in half like this and then sew the 2 edges together. This ugly edge right here, you can fold that or, you know, whatever you like, but it's not going to show, it's going to be on the inside, so I'm just going to leave it like this. So sew this shut. And then flip it. And this is the basic body of the bow. Just cut out any thread that's poking out, or, you know. So this ugly inside right here, it's not going to show because it's turned inwards, and this is going to be the back. So once I scrunch this up, put it in my ear, it's not going to show. Okay, so the first loop is done. Now it's time to do the small one, and we want the bow to be pretty tight, but we don't want it to be really, really difficult to pull it over here. And also, the width of the tiny loop cannot be longer than the opening and the clip, because we're not going to be able to shut it. So this is, at the moment, it's too thick. See, I can't close that. But when I sew the sides, I'm going to lose a little bit of this excess fabric, so I think we're going to be good actually. Just measure with your hand, like pull it around the big loop and sort of mark with your fingers how tight it needs to be. Now just go ahead and do the same thing that we did with the big loop. Put the tiny pieces with the outsides towards each other so that the insides are turned out, and sew every side but one of the short ones. Just cutting off some of the excess fabric. Sorry about the traffic, you guys. It's so hot in our apartment today. I have to have a window open. I tried using a fan over there, but it just made even more noise than the traffic. A warm day to be a Swede. Okay, now since this is really tiny, it's going to be a little bit tricky to turn it inside out, so you might need like a pencil or anything to poke it through there and help you twist it inside out. Here we go. That's one tiny little loop. Okay, and next up we do the same thing that we did to the big one. The edges together. And sew this shut. Now before I do that, I'm just going to measure that the length is correct. It seems I might need to sew a bit further in. So not, well, this depends on how you measure. This is not an exact science. So just, yeah, about a centimeter in or something like that. Over, and you have yourself a tiny little loop. Now here's the sort of tricky part. We're now going to pull this over this bow and whoops, into the clip. So scrunch it up the way you like it, and then scrunch the edges and pull it through. And make sure you get the seam in the back. Okay, so that's my basic bow. I made it a bit bigger than I thought I would, but you know, whatever. So I'm gonna try to show you how I put this in here now. So this is the back. So I'm just pulling the top through like this, and then I'll be able to shut it. And like I said before, if you want this to be like super tight, you can obviously glue it on, or you know, enhance it by sewing by hand. I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't like the seam showing, and I'm not a big fan of glue on fabric because, well, for one, it doesn't last that well, and it sort of, if you mess it up, like even the tiniest bit, it's gonna show. So yeah. Well, this was the little hair bow, and if you want, just remove the clip and put it on one of these brooch pins instead. Just be as creative as you like with this. So I can put it on my top if I want. I can switch it up and put it in my hair. I think bows can really enhance like your hair or your outfit, or just make stuff cute. Or you can make a bag if you want. Or that might actually be a cute idea. A bag with bows on it. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Please give me more requests. Thank you to Rebellious Kelly's for sending me this one. This was a lot of fun to show you guys. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!